Did you know that Tom Cruise's Mission Impossible 2 almost had Ethan Hunt battling an evil AI supercomputer inside a virtual reality prison? And it gets weirder from there.
We're talking fake airplane crashes, secret supercomputers, and Ethan Hunt literally fights a ghost inside the Garden of Eden. Yes, that's right.
This is a real script for Mission Impossible 2 that was being helmed by Oliver Stone. So today, with Mission Impossible The Final Reckoning coming out in cinemas soon, we're going to take a look at one of the most insane Mission Impossible movies that never happened.
Your mission, if you choose to accept it, is to give this video a like and subscribe if you haven't already. Light the fuse.
The film opens in the jungles of Brazil. There's a brutal dictator who is celebrating his power, but his night takes a deadly turn when a woman at his party, who's secretly an IMF agent, kisses him with a poison-laced lipstick. Moments later, he collapses in cardiac arrest as paramedics rush in, including Ethan Hunt in disguise. And they load him onto a plane to take him off into a raging storm. And as the engines fail and the plane starts plummeting, the dictator panics and he confesses all his crimes, only for the big reveal. The plane never left the ground. It was all an IMF illusion with high-tech screens simulating the sky. Mission complete. Ethan and his team disappear, leaving their target unconscious and ruined.
I swear I have seen that exact plot device in a film where they fake a plane
I know
crash.
what it is.
Oh, hang on. I think I've got it. Is it Now You See Me Too?
Yes, it is.
Yes. It's in there.
Ethan is next seen on vacation. Back in his hotel, a cabana boy hands him a pair of sunglasses saying, "You dropped these." Ethan's a bit confused and he puts them on when suddenly he's receiving his next mission. His objective? Break a dying theoretical mathematician called Ling out of a Chinese prison. Ethan quickly assembles a new team, including a new love interest, Sarah Chen, and executes a daring jailbreak using high-tech voice chips and elaborate misdirections.
Elaborate misdirections. That's 90% of what they do.
But when he finally gets the target out, something feels off. He hands the scientist over to an IMF contact, only to later witness the man's horrifying suicide. He screams, "You lied to me!" The scientist takes his own life.
What?
He leaves with more questions than answers now. What follows is now a kind of a spiral into paranoia. Ethan returns to the IMF headquarters in Rome, only to discover that there's no record of his mission. There's no mention of a mathematician, and there's no trace of what just happened. It's as if the mission never existed. As Ethan pieces together the truth, he realizes that he's been manipulated. Someone hijacked his orders, and IMF was not behind any of this. And this revelation sends him on the run, desperate to uncover who is really pulling the strings. And his search leads him to a shadowy figure named William Thayer. He's a reclusive genius described as a mix between, and this will date it, Bill Gates and the Unabomber.
So Elon Musk.
Yeah, Elon Musk. And I will say, the sunglasses, by the way, carry over into the Mission Impossible 2 that we did get.
And he throws them off on the cliff face and they blow up.
So he's led to William Thayer. And Thayer has built a supercomputer capable of tracking anyone, anywhere through their digital footprint. His weapon is not guns or bombs, it's data. And with enough information, Thayer could control the world.
This is ahead of its time, don't you reckon, in 97?
Which would have seemed like science fiction back then.
It is science fact now, Cambo.
Ethan tracks down Thayer to his hidden facility, where Sarah Chen has been captured and strapped into a bizarre machine. It's a device that can extract and manipulate memory. And remember when I mentioned the wheels of this film, Eden? Starting to get rickety now, ready to fall off. Because it turns out that Thayer is searching for something. There's a piece of vital information stored in Ethan's subconscious. The mathematician had scrawled cryptic symbols on the wall of his prison cell before dying, and Ethan, without realizing it, was the only one that saw them. Now, Thayer intends to rip that knowledge from his mind. Ethan is restrained, placed into the device, and subjected to a psychological onslaught. His memories fracture, his reality warps, and he's soon trapped in an illusion so powerful that he doesn't know what's real and what's not.
This is getting very, steal the information in the dream.
The second half of the film, Ethan is caught in what they describe as a mental labyrinth. So at one point he believes he escapes the facility only to realize that was all a simulation. And he hasn't, in fact, escaped.
Oh, my God. Hang on a minute,
He watches
Cambo.
as trusted friends are killed, only to realize, no, that never happened. That's all an illusion in his mind.
Oh, wow. This does not feel like Oliver Stone at all.
The film toys with perception, with Ethan and the audience unable to tell where the illusions end and reality begins. At one point, he finds himself in what appears to be, Eden, the Garden of Eden.
That's my place, mate. You stay away out of my garden, mate.
In the garden, in your front garden, speaking to a child who claims to be the future of mankind.
Are you kidding me?
Now, the child morphs into an old man and then into what they describe as a monster before finally revealing the ultimate truth to Ethan, which is the true mastermind isn't Thayer at all. It's the mathematician Ling.
Oh, no, it's not.
The man who supposedly killed himself is alive in a sense, because as it turns out, his consciousness
has been
uploaded.
uploaded.
Into the machine. So he's fighting an ethereal villain with no physical presence, which I will point out is the plot of Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning.
Oh, because he's fighting AI.
He's fighting AI.
What's the Transcendence?
Yes, it's a little bit Transcendence, yeah.
It's very Johnny Depp-esque, played by this character. I could imagine Johnny Depp in the late 90s playing this character as well.
Ethan finally breaks free of the simulation. This leads to a chaotic reality-bending final act with the help of Luther comes back.
Oh, lovely.
And a new recruit, a CGI expert named Allison. Ethan stages an elaborate deception using deep fake-like technology to trick Thayer's AI into destroying itself. The villain is defeated, but Ethan is left shaken by the whole ordeal, and as he returns to the IMF, we see the full scope of what he's finally endured. The world comes inches away from total surveillance and absolute control, and Ethan has only just barely made it out alive at the end of the film.
Wow. It starts so promisingly.
How do you feel about it being plugged into a computer?
I don't like that.
You don't like when it becomes Transcendence?
I don't like when it suddenly becomes the movie, the box office smash Transcendence.
So the script was rejected, and that led to Stone's departure from the project. So Cruise chose John Woo because he was a fan of the film Hard Boiled, but at this point he'd also done Face Off, which was big Hollywood budget, big Hollywood stars. So here's a fun fact. Filming begins in April of 1999. And it lasted for over a year.
And this was famously in Australia.
Famously in Australia. Do you know who played the villain in Mission Impossible 2? There's a gentleman by the name of Doug Ray Scott. And unfortunately, because Mission Impossible 2 ran over schedule, he couldn't go to his next role. What was that next role he couldn't go to, Eden?
I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, was it Wolverine?
It was Wolverine from the X-Men.
Yes, yes. And Hugh Jackman is thanking his lucky stars.
But here's a fun fact for you as well. It was the highest grossing film of the year 2000.
Really?
Mission Impossible 2, even though it is divisive with critics and fans, is the highest grossing film of the year 2000.
That surprises me. I'm not a fan of John Woo's Mission Impossible 2.
But
I'm not a fan of it.
Are you a fan of what you heard about Oliver Stones?
I'm less of a fan of the Mind Palace fight scene that took the better part of an hour of this supposed other film.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, is Oliver Stone's insane, unmade Mission Impossible 2.
Would it have been a total mess? Probably. But would it have been the most insane Mission Impossible movie ever made? Absolutely yes.
And if you love deep dives into movies that never happened, you should check out our podcast, Cancelled Movie Report. We have a ton of cancelled movie projects that we talk about in depth. You can check it out in the description below or just up there.
We've covered everything from George Miller's Justice League Mortal, Colin Trevorrow's Star Wars Episode 9. So if you want to hear about some of the craziest movies that got scrapped, we got you covered.
And if you have other movies that you want us to cover, let us know in the comments.
And while you're down there, just hit that like and subscribe button.
Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you next time.